Hi there, and welcome back to another episode in our series of 1,000 Evidences for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And this one, number 231, and a few others that follow, will provide a lot of interesting information about the vital importance of temples in God's plan of saving His children here on earth. Central to the mission of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are the temple ordinances that enlighten, edify, and sanctify the saints, both living and dead. Those rites are most sacred, and only those members who are striving to live the principles of the gospel are allowed to participate. Because of their sacred nature, precious little is recorded in the Holy Scriptures about these ceremonies. However, many ancient non-canonical sources have recently been discovered that document temple rituals in surprising detail. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints teaches that throughout the ages there have been faithful saints that practiced the same ordinances and believed the same principles as the Latter-day Saints. Since the ordinances of the temple were instituted from before the foundations of the world, according to Doctrine and Covenants, section 124, verse 33, and since the truly faithful in all dispensations have always been commanded to build temples unto the Lord, that's according to Doctrine and Covenants, section 124, verse 39, we should expect to find evidence that the temples were built prior to the Temple of Solomon. In this episode, we'll be talking specifically about the Temple of Melchizedek. Flavius Josephus, a Jew who became a Roman citizen, even to the extent of Latinizing his name, wrote a history of the Jewish people from their origin down to the Roman occupation of Palestine. In this fascinating history, he records that Melchizedek built a temple in Jerusalem. He wrote, "But he who first built it in Jerusalem was a potent man among the Canaanites and is in our tongue called Melchizedek, the righteous king, for such he really was, on which account he was there the first priest of God, and first built a temple there, and called the city Jerusalem, which was formerly called Salem." The complete works of Josephus are where this is found. Wars of the Jews, translated by William Winston, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Kriegel Publishing Company, 1981, page 588. Although Josephus' writings have not been canonized, scholars have concluded that most of his writings were accurate in preserving the history of the Jews. The statement by Josephus disclosing that Melchizedek built a temple is especially remarkable because Melchizedek, although an Old Testament patriarch, is held up by the Apostle Paul as a great priest of a higher priesthood. Paul wrote that Jesus had been called of God to be a high priest after the order of Melchizedek. That's in Hebrews chapter 7, verse 15. Did you catch that? It's amazing in light of the fact that so many non-LDS people assume that the Old Testament is of no significance in our day. However, in contrast, the LDS Church respects the writings of Paul as well as those of Josephus. We agree with Paul that all Scripture is inspired of God, not just the New Testament. This is clear evidence that the LDS Church is complete and true, and that it provides God's plan for the salvation of all of His children in all ages of history. Thanks for watching, and remember the warning signs in medical care centers: call, don't fall. Applying this advice to your search for truth, call on the God of truth and light. Don't fall for the nitpickers and busybodies who try to find fault with the most beautiful religion on earth.